everyone, today let's learn a new mathematical knowledge, Pythagorean Theorem. If we all know the theorem, it's so famous, and I will pay tribute to the master Pythagoras. He was the teacher of all math teachers. Okay, what is Pythagorean Theorem? If the side of the right triangle, of course, is A, B, and hypotenuse is C, then the squares of A plus the squares of B equals the squares of C. That is the same of square sides of the right triangles. It equals the squared hypotenuse as shown in the figure. Okay, of course, the AB is the shorter, and the C the longest. A, B, C, Okay, how to prove it? We know if A is 3 in China, we said A is 3, B is 4, then C is 5. We also said it's 勾三股四弦五. But how to prove it? It's proved by Pythagoras. He's the first man to prove this theorem. Of course, now we have hundreds of methods to prove it. Let's learn some basic important proof of Pythagorean theorem. The first, let's have a see. This is a right triangle, ABC. We use 4 right triangle. We can make a square of ABCD. Okay, the area of ABCD equals the 4 right triangle plus the smaller square. Okay, the big square is the area of the big square ABCD. Of course, it's the sum of A and B. Squares of sum of A and B equals the squares of C plus the 4 right triangle. Every right triangle is AB and times half. So we can get the squares of A plus the squares of B equal the squares of C. It's a famous proof. Okay, we also can use this method. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 right triangle, and here a small square. Okay, here the big square minus the 4 and equals the smaller square. Okay, the big square ABCD equals the squares of C, then equals here of course A minus B. If we use A, here B, here is A minus B, and plus this small square, then we can get the A squares of A plus the squares of B equals the squares of C. And here is another famous proof. It's called president method. The one famous president, he gave the proof. Okay, here the area, and okay, here the right triangle, and here is the same the 2 right triangle plus this one equals the big area. So we can get the squares A plus the squares of B equals the squares of C. Here now we have hundreds of methods to prove it. If you have some interesting, you can find some new proof. Let's go on. Properties of right triangle have some properties. Of course, two acute angles complement each other. If here is 25 degree, here of course 65 degree. Here is complement to each other. The edge equals 90 degree. And the three sets satisfied the Pythagorean theorem. If he is the right triangle, of course, the squares of A plus the squares of B equal the squares of C. It satisfies the Pythagorean theorem. The third, the center line on the hypotenuse is equal to half of the hypotenuse. Here, if the center line on the if here is the middle, so it's called the center line. It equals half of the hypotenuse. Why? If some friend may ask why, look, we can give it a. So here, CE equals AB. So CD equals half of CE, of course, equals half of AB. So the center line on the hypotenuse is equal to half of the hypotenuse. And the fourth, the right side opposite of the 30 degree is equal to half the hypotenuse. Why? You have to ask why. Here, 30 degree. Here, of course, 60. We can use 2 give a beautiful, perfect triangle. BC, okay, D. So, CB is half of the BD. Of course, BD is equals AB. So, CD is half of AB. That is the right side opposite the 30 degree is equal to half of the hypotenuse. It's very important. The addition, there's an important conclusion in right triangle. We know the area of triangle equals A plus B, of course, times half. It's also equals C plus times H. H is the height of the hypotenuse. So A times B equals C times H. Of course, H equals AB divided by C. It's a very important conclusion. Okay, let's go on. Right triangle judgment. How to judge if the triangle is a right triangle. One of the angles is right triangle. If he has a triangle is 90 degree, of course it's right triangle. And two acute angles complement each other. Here, add together is 90 degree. Of course, it is a right triangle. The result of Pythagorean theorem is very basic to judge if a triangle a right triangle. Of course, the center line outside equals half of the set. Okay, if the center line is, if this line is equals half of AB, it's a right triangle. Of course, maybe some teacher asks you to prove it. You can prove it to him. We can prove it. If CD equals half of AB, then it is a right triangle. If you have any question, please feel free to send me a private message.
Let's go! my stupid heart.